following the assassination of Charlie Kirk, she had every reason to destroy Turning Point USA. And I don't think she's actually trying to investigate Charlie's death. I think she's saying, now's my opportunity that Charlie's gone to burn down TPUSA.
Maybe so. But listen, when Charlie died, and again, that was a tragic event, I think they took out what is possibly a future American president.
Yeah.
And I think he would have been a future American president in the future. So they took a future American president from us. But when he died, you had two people going after his audience, Candace Owens and Nick Fuentes. Nick even moved a little bit more to started becoming a little bit more moderate to get that audience. So just because Candace won that battle and, took more of Charlie Kirk's audience than, Nick Fuentes did, doesn't necessarily mean that...
Dude, I agree. I'm being facetious when I make that argument. No, I agree with you wholeheartedly. I'm making that argument because I'm mocking Candace Owens, because that's how she makes her arguments, only based off circumstantial evidence. So I agree with you. I'm mocking her.
I got you.
Tim, I did want to ask, though, Candace Owens did put a thumbnail up. It says the $1 billion question on it, and it says, who stood to benefit from Charlie Kirk's assassination? It's you're put on there, and then FBI.
Yeah. And Cash Patel.
What do you think she's trying to achieve by having you on her thumbnail with the quote, who stood to benefit?
Doesn't matter what I think she wants to achieve. What will the outcome be? What do you think?
I think that Candace Owens is born in 1989, the year of the snake, and 2025 is the year of the snake, and I think that's why she's number one right now.
Because she's a snake?
So anyway, hold on. The question I asked was, he said, why do I think that she put me on her thumbnail today with a title of the $1 billion question, who stands to gain? It's Cash Patel, and it's me. I said, her intention doesn't matter. The outcome of the action does. And what do you think the outcome will be of her putting me and Cash on this thumbnail?
To get a response out of you.
Just that's it?
I mean, listen, you're a titan. You're a titan in this industry, and she's getting there too. So you guys talking about each other is going to get...
She's always been bigger than me, dude.
I don't...
Dude, she's implying that Tim Pool had something to do with this.
Yeah. That's what her channel's more than double mine.
I mean, if you count out all your channels together, it's a little different.
Oh, yeah, but come on, those are overlapping subscribers. She's always had a bigger show. She's always gotten...
She had 150,000 live viewers today.
Popular.
I think it's very clear what she was trying to do here. She was trying to imply that Tim had something to do with this because circumstantially...
But hold on. Okay, but this doesn't matter. The question is, what will the outcome of that be?
She's trying to rile up her audience. People will be mad at you. They'll be pointing the finger and saying, Candace thinks that it was Tim, and so we should hate Tim Pool.
And then what does that result in?
Violence towards Tim Pool. That is her goal. That's what I believe her goal here is with this thumbnail. Yes. Wholeheartedly.
Will the outcome of her making that be the case?
I think she has a large audience of complete fucking retards, so of hundreds of thousands of complete fucking retards. Millions of retards. Well, that's democracy, baby. I don't know. It's a scary thought.
Yeah, and I don't think that she is the future of the Republican Party. It is interesting. Is it true that Tucker's buying a house in Doha?
Doha?
Yeah,
I don't only think this is a message to you, Tim. I think this is a message to everybody else in the movement. Don't step out of fucking line. You challenge me. I'll take on Tim Pool. I'll take on any of you guys. If you're willing to call me out on what you think is bullshit, I don't give a shit, is what I think her message is.
These people, they have tried to control me for so long, and they just have never been able to do it. When we had Milo on Friday, it was funny because I pointed there are a lot of people that have come to me and said, Tim, we will make you very rich. We just need guardrails. They don't say it like that. They're like, let us handle all the posting scheduling for you, and we'll give you your stories. It'll be really easy. You don't got to worry about it. You'll end up making way more money. We can get you subject matter that will hit better and trend tracking. And then I said, I have this really funny story where I said, what if I want to do... I don't want to conflate these stories and imply one person said something when they didn't say something, so I'll clarify. There's been a general conversation around this from various podcast networks and big companies. And when I say something like, yes, but, I just called Candace Owens a cunt, and they'd be like, well, you can't do that. You can't say that. That's a bridge too far. You're going to lose sponsors, lose advertisers. And I was like, oh, I don't want to do it then. Like maybe sometimes I just feel like saying it. I don't got a script. And then I slam the table,
I think your audience
get a little out of hand, I guess.
That you don't compromise your authenticity.
Once you get a couple M's, you start,
M's?
Doing millions. Once you get a couple million, about 8 figures, 9 figures, you start getting a little bit more. No one's going to tell me what the fuck to say.
But that's the story of my life. I mean, that's how I'm here. Otherwise, I'd just be working for ABC News. I worked at ABC News. I left. They were like, hey, Tim, here's the message. I was like, nah. I sat down with the president of Fusion, and he said, it's been, I've told this story a million times, but it's like, it was something to the effect of, I said something like, if there is a story that would offend our audience, are you saying we will not cover it? And he says, yeah, I think that's fair. Yeah.
Oh, that's garbage.
That was the ABC News Univision joint venture. And then I was like, nah. And then they said, okay, contract is up. And they were like, thank you and have a nice day. They actually sent me $40,000. I love this story. So I was beefing with them. And it wasn't like that I was screaming in their faces or anything like that. I was saying like, hey guys, do you see how you made this like trans kids thing? One of the first videos they did. It got a bunch of views. And I was like, that's kind of weird. You want to know what gets tons of views? This other thing. And then we did this campaign for them where we took an existing piece of content they already had. It was called Open Mic Massacre, where it mocked political correctness. And I said, we're going to boost this on social media. We're going to share it. That's literally all we're going to do. We're going to share it on social media. We're going to post it in forums. And we're going to be like, guys, check this out. It's really great. And we did. And it got 500,000 views, and they gained 2,000 subs overnight. And then the political ideologues got really mad. And they were like, Tim Pool's a white supremacist or something like that. And then I was like, because I took content you made and promoted, well, you know, it opposed political correctness. And then they regretted doing it. It was really funny. And so I'm not playing ball. They had a black and brown forum is what it's called, where they had presidential candidates come and they were going to have their top talent, you know, and interview these presidential candidates. I'm one of their senior correspondents, highly paid, well respected. And they contracted a black man from New York instead of me. Now, I don't know who this guy is, by all means, he's a great talent. I don't want to rain on his parade or anything. Seems like a nice guy. However, they had their top talent and then one guy they contracted. So I went to the president and I was like, you know, I'm not trying to be a dick and like, you know, cause any issues or anything, but why did you guys bring in a contractor instead of having me? I'm one of your senior correspondents. And they said, well, you look too white. And then I was like, I'm second.
That's what they actually said?
Yes. Well, and I said, I'm second generation mixed race. And he goes, come on, man. And then I was like, whatever, bro. So we were beefing quite a bit. And then I remember I got a phone call. I got an email and they were like, Tim, we need to talk with you. And this was, I think it was, what was it? A 2-year contract. They wanted a 3-year one. It's a 2-year contract. And I should have done the 3-year because then they would have paid me out when they went defunct. I would have got a lot more money. So it was like a year and a quarter, maybe a year and a half. I get this email, and so I get a phone call thinking like, oh, they're gonna ask to like close out my contract. I bet, I swear. And this guy calls me, and he's just like, so I know that there's been issues, and we've been trying to work through them, and I respect your position on these things. And I'm thinking, here we go. And he goes, so I just wanted to let you know that things have been going pretty good, and we have a bonus for you. It's $40,000. You'll see it in your bank account probably in a couple days. We don't want you to be alarmed. So thank you for the hard work. And I was like, what? Okay. And a bonus? The company wasn't even making money. And then sure enough, I checked my account, 40, it was like after taxes, like 27 or something. I'm like, they just gave me $20,000. I think that was them being like, come on, Tim, the money's good. And then, you know, I didn't do anything. So come August, they were just like, I got the phone call again, and they're like, we're calling to let you know that we will not be renewing your contract. We appreciate everything. Thank you and have a nice day. And I says, likewise. Click.
After they gave you a bonus, they let you go?
Like 4 months later or something.
Change in management?
No, I think the money was fall in line and it'll be good. And when they gave me the money and I still didn't, I'm not doing it. I'm not making the weird woke garbage. Like one of the things I talked about at that company is when the Ghost in the Shell movie came out, they were having an editorial meeting and they were like, this is whitewashing. They're having Scarlett Johansson play a Japanese woman. That's racist. And I said, yeah, maybe it is weird to choose Scarlett Johansson. However, I'm a big Ghost in the Shell fan, and one of the themes of the show is how you can change your body, like prosthetic bodies. So it's not really the message in a negative sense. It's more of like you can be any person you want. In fact, in Ghost in the Shell standalone complex, the major is actually asked, why do you prefer female model bodies? And they were like, we're going to go with the racism on this one. And I was like, okay. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.